Today the markets continue their sell-off, and I'm pretty sure the popular thing to do is to blame Powell, which is ridiculous. The markets have been setting up this move for a long time, and while Powell definitely did provide the motivation to sell or to drive the markets down, I think that the technical setup has been there for quite a while, and now we're just seeing that actualized. So this is something that I've been following for a long time, and I do have a lot of analysis on it as well. And Capavision, my premium subscriber membership, I went over SPX for like 30 minutes on Sunday, and I went into great detail about what I think is happening and how long and how far this is going to go. So if that interests you, you should sign for Capavision. It's $1.99 a month. You get access to a private Discord channel in the server, and you get a weekly video. I want to encourage everyone to go and watch my old videos. I know no one does. I can see the stats. But really, go back and just have a look. It's incredible what Elliott wave theory and Bulkowski chart pattern analysis reveals about what's happening in the markets. So without any further ado, let's just get into the charts. As usual, let's start with a market overview. I have SPY in the top left, the dollar strength index top right, SPXU, which is an ETF that I believe it represents the inversion of SPY, and then GLD, which is a gold ETF. And what's really interesting to me here is that gold is still falling with equities. It is notable though that gold isn't falling nearly as hard as equities are. This is a much bigger move in SPY relative to the height of the last bounce. I am expecting those two things to diverge, but the dollar strength is going to have to start its next move first. So there have been a couple of touches of this blue line here, and this is a chart pattern I have, and I believe that I've done some analysis on it in the past in Capavision. But currently what we can definitely see is we had a big run up, and still we're lacking a close between the high and the low of that last super tall green candle. And so that to me tells me that this bullish move is dying, it's losing steam. This doesn't look like bullish consolidation to me. This looks like a dying rally. And if the dollar strength falls, then commodities will rise. SPXU, Obi-Wan turned me on to this one. And I gotta say, I think it's doing good things. This is probably an ABC correction higher. And with any luck, it's gonna turn into an extended 3-wave. And seriously, it's gonna, I think it could really move much higher in a very bullish pattern, and then top out once the markets find their new bottom, their new low. And that could be much further than people are comfortable talking about. Let's move on. Here I have AMC and APE. Of course, neither of these is performing bullishly. I originally had a flag drawn here and I was expecting a downward breakout. Instead, what we've gotten was a push up and out of that pattern, and now a throw back into that range. And so what this does is tell me that we're just expanding this corrective phase, and now we're in a descending, broadening wedge. You could perhaps draw a channel through here and say this is part of a motive wave, and that our half staff formation is only halfway complete, in which case the pain is just getting going. And I think APE here is leading the way. Not much to say here. We don't look bullish. And back here I was saying no bounce yet. So still I'm saying no bounce yet, and yeah, expect more downside. My analysis on AMC has been incredible since the high of 2750. As the price climbed past 1350 up to 2750, I was just in disbelief as that thing kept running and running and running. Sure enough, the rally stopped at the prevailing downtrend and reversed, and I covered that with incredible accuracy. American Eagle Outfitters. It's been a while since I've done an analysis on the American Eagle Outfitters. There's definitely a push higher, and it was an ABC correction. A, B, C. I was hoping to see a bounce at the top of wave 1, but since there, you can see we've closed below that level, and that's a problem for the Elliott wave analysis. It means that this bullish wave has died, unfortunately, but do not give up hope. This does look like a falling wedge through here, which could be a leading diagonal triangle, and hopefully we'll get a push higher, in which case this 3-wave move may actually be an impulse wave, and this reactionary wave will produce a tremendous rally. However, the markets do not support moves in small caps right now, and so I am wary. I am very wary. This looks bullish, but really I think we're probably going to come back down and test a low, because we already have that breakout of that ascending broadening wedge, and the price target is the beginning of that pattern. We'll see overall how far down it goes. I think we do see a decrease in volume and implied volatility. The RSI reaching oversold a few times here on this time frame on the 1 hour, so it's possible we could see a bullish reversal soon. We'll just have to wait. Now, GLD. The stock ed is bearish on GLD and actually has puts, and I think he took profits actually, which was good. I think I want to go over this one step at a time, weekly time frame on the max. We started trading in 2014, I believe. And so this is most of the chart, and since then we've formed a massive uptrend which has not been tested since well back in 2018. What we've seen is a few pushes higher, I think primarily in 3 waves, and since 2020 we've been in this flat, a 335 flat. And so to show that flat, I've actually gone through and I've used these white lines. This may have looked like a motive wave, but if you draw this pattern carefully, you actually get a descending broadening wedge, which is a corrective pattern, and you can see the 3 waves there defining that. This would be a zigzag, so there's 2 motive waves in this pattern, and that is what we're calling a 3. 1, 2, 3. The next 3-way move was a bounce higher, and it featured a triangle through here, and you can see that the high we reached at B was just about the high of this descending broadening wedge, and that would be the price target. There was a breakout of that first pattern, the descending broadening wedge, and a throwback, which means the price rejected that breakout, and that hurts post-breakout performance. And as you can see, the low or the high at B was just below the high back here at the start of the pattern, which is probably the top of a motive wave 3. Recently we've been in this big downtrend, and this is a clean motive wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm looking for an ABC correction pushing higher, probably coming up to the median line here of that range, that trading range of the 335 flat. So this is the 5 pattern that ends the flat, and a 335 flat is very common at the end of a 4th wave, which is why I'm pretty confident saying that we had a big 3-wave extension lead us higher. Now we've found 4, and we're going to be looking for wave 5. Hopefully that's bullish. I think that we do have a case for that too. Going into a little more depth here on the daily, this is that last motive wave heading down. I have them labeled as minute waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now you can see I have some more charting to go into over here. I believe this is a bullish reversal in the works. You can see the RSI is deeply oversold at this point at the end of that minute wave 5. And now we have the price, which isn't quite as low yet, but it appears to me that should the price continue to drop, that we might actually set a higher low in the RSI. So my stop loss won't just be this level of horizontal support and resistance set by the last low. It's also going to be determined on the RSI. And if that RSI stays higher, then great. I can see that volume is decreasing through this selling pressure, and that's okay. I think that's good because this is, after all, a downtrend. So if the downtrend's ending, then volume should drop and implied volatility should drop as well, which is the case. Zooming in, you can see the chart pattern analysis of that same motive wave heading down. We have a purple channel here, and these white lines, these are showing the corrective phases. So push 1 was just straight down, and then wave 2 in here was let's see here, megaphone, and we had a downward breakout, and this is a motive wave heading down. You can see that motive waves fit into channels very well. Then we had another corrective phase, and it was the opposite of the previous corrective wave, which was an expanding pattern where the price increases its price range. Here, this is decreasing its price range. And this is important. This is pretty typical to see in a motive wave. Downward breakout led to a 5 wave, which had a decreasing price range, and sure enough, we had a bullish breakout, and that first wave was motive, ending in its own little wedge there until now we find ourselves into another corrective pattern, which is broadening. So this is how I use Elliott wave analysis and Bulkowski chart pattern analysis in conjunction with each other. And when you do both correctly, you get these really great forecasts. Going in even closer, this is the very tail end of that chart way back here. That's just this little portion here. You can see this trend up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, beautiful motive wave, and now we have this ABC correction, and it looks like we could have a double bottom forming through here, which would have a bullish RSI divergence. Yeah, I think that also implied volatility has found a bottom and it's going to start coming up as well. Again, I broke it down into the chart pattern analysis, and you can see a little more clearly that motive wave, rising wedge, and broadening pattern. And I've noted why I think we're going to find reversal near that 160 mark here. It is possible that the expanded flat, that wave C, passes below the prior lows, and that would mean that we could be in for a zigzag here, which would not be great. If that were the case, I'd be taking the height of this run and applying it to the top touch of this pattern here and saying that's probably where we're going to end up in a zigzag. However, sometimes zigzags those measured moves down, those 1, 2, 3 patterns, to get interrupted about halfway down. That's very bullish, and that very well could be the case here. We're gonna have to wait and see. It's just a wait and see. This is my cat, Cortana. She's amazing. Love her to death. That's all I have for today's video. Happy trading.